welcome to Diving into Deep Waters. I am your host, Erin Rowling, and I'm just going to start off this podcast letting you know there could be some interruptions because it's one of those days where there's a lot of things going on, but Mama needed to record, and I couldn't wait any longer because I have things to do. I'm actually going out of town, and so when I'm recording this, when you listen to this, I will not be going out of town. But yeah, you know how it is. The list is long and I want to get this done so that I can leave. Like, it's kind of like when you clean your house before you go away for vacation. Like, no one's going to be there, but it just gives you peace of mind knowing, you can just settle into everything. And I feel a little bit that way with the podcast, just like, okay, it's done. And so, yeah, my kid might walk in. I don't know what's going to happen, but it'll be an adventure. So she's not going to want to say hi because it's her first day of work. My youngest kid, her first day of work. So proud of her. She was so nervous. But I'm like, you got this. You can do this. And so she will have been outside for several hours by the time she gets in. So it's going to be a bit of a day. But I will say this because I wore this necklace in another podcast, and she said, "Did you tell them that I got it for you?" And I said, no. So here I am telling you that this cute little mom necklace was purchased by my youngest. It is funny to me a little bit because she went away for a few days. We gave her money, because you don't want your kid to be a burden to, they're not a burden, but you send your kid with money for all those little extra things. And so she came back and she was like, "I got you something." And I thought, isn't it funny? You got me something with the money I gave you. So really, I bought myself this necklace. Just had to give a little tease there. I guess I should straighten it. Anyways, also I have this cool shirt that says, "Ask me about my podcast." You can't really see it when I'm recording. I don't know why I'm wearing t-shirts because time, you guys, time is not my friend right now, but that's okay. We're making it work. We're doing things. It's good. Also, another thing that I keep forgetting to say, and Kara wrote me a little text, and she was like, "Hey, by the way," so being so sweet about it, Kara, if you want to like this podcast, if you want to subscribe, that would be great. To my husband, who I think is still not subscribed, subscribe. But yeah, if you're following us along, I subscribed to myself. I was like, what's one more? Let's do it. So if you think about it and you like it, don't like it if you don't like it, though. It's fine. Just don't leave a nasty comment. We'll stay away from those. But if you like it, put a little like. And I don't know where it is. They're usually below the video. You always see people going like this. I don't know. But anyways, so I want to tell you that some other exciting news besides my necklace, my shirt that my friend bought me. And I was actually like, my friend stopped by and she was like, another friend. And she was like, "Cute shirt." And I told her which friend got it for me. She was like, "Yes, that makes sense." Because she's very thoughtful like that. But I don't feel like it's something you can just walk around with. I don't know. Ask me. Anyways, but some other exciting things that are happening over here at our household is the Rolling's got a new couch. Yay! So exciting. She's got some girth to her. I can see her from where I'm sitting, and she's large and in charge, you guys. She is not small by any means. The largest piece of furniture we have ever purchased. But we could not be happier with her. Every time I walk past the living room, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. We got a new couch." Yeah, yes. We've needed one for a while, but if you've priced out furniture recently at all, this stuff is expensive. It is not cheap. And so, yeah, we've had our couch for like 22 years. And she was good to us. I mean, she's held up, I have to say. I mean, she's put up with 4 kids, and a family of 7, and family and friends and spills and pets, and all of the things have happened on that couch. And we were like, it's time for her to be retired. We actually did something, and I think I've shared this before, but this year we kind of did something different in the beginning of the year. We kind of wrote down the things that we wanted to accomplish this year, or like purchase, or things that were coming up and needed to be done. And the couch, I put the couch on it. I don't know if Paul really thought at first that it was an important purchase, but he soon learned when he had to sit in the spot with all the springs springing. He was on board with that. And so we we put that on there, and we're like, okay, this it's time. And um it is funny to me because sometimes like you'll live with something for a long time. Like it's broken, it doesn't work right. Like my curling iron, the little thing just popped off, and I was like, I'm not buying a new one. So I took some gauze and some tape and I wrapped it around it so I don't burn my thumb every time I curl my hair. But it's like, I don't know, you just deal with things. It's not a big deal to you until you have people over, and then you're like, that's not so great. And which is what happened with our couch. I think I never sit on the couch at all. I don't know. Abby lays on it all the time. She's claimed it as her own. She probably lays on that thing more than she does her own bed. And so and she's long, so nobody else can be on the couch when Abby's on the couch. But I I saw that there were some springs, kind of like poking up, and so I thought, well, cardboard, I mean, we have lots of Amazon cardboard. We'll just tuck that in there, and that should do the trick. And it did for a little bit, but cardboard only holds for so long. And just thought, when we have company over, don't want to have to like have people need a tetanus shot or something like that because the springs like did something. Actually, Amanda sat on it and it did kind of poke her. So it was time. It was past time. And of course, you don't just go into buying a couch and just say, oh, we're going to buy a couch. It's just like this flippant purchase. I mean, like, you do your research and like, what kind of couch do I want? What color do I want? I mean, it's been 22 years, so you're thinking probably not going to buy another one for another 22 years. Although I don't think they make things the way they used to. So it's probably not going to last that long, but that's okay. But so I started pinning my little Pinterest ideas of what I was envisioning, as for a couch. And I sent it to the family. I got their approval and stuff and was like, what do you think? And everyone was, pretty sold on it. It fits the motif. It was like a nice brown, like tan leather couch. We've had leather before. Wipes up nicely, thinking of spills. Still got kids, older kids that drink coffee that spill it, stuff like that. So we thought that was probably a good idea until Paul brought up the point of like, what about Teddy, which is our grand puppy? Like, I've seen couches with dogs, like leather couches. They don't fare very well. They have claws, and stuff like that. And so we thought of that because she's a little rambunctious when she comes. She likes to jump around and stuff like that. So we're like, oh, is she going to like claw into the couch? And here's the thing. When looking for a couch, I don't want to like worry about it all the time. Like, I want to have like, it's here to be used. But that's hard when you get something new, right? Like, I even do that, like, with my floors, to be honest. Like, if you're coming over, I don't clean my floors. I think I've told you this. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what I've told you, what I haven't. But because I will stress, if you spill something, I will stress that you just spilled something on my newly cleaned floors. So I don't do it because I know that about myself. It's kind of like the couch a little bit. I'm like, I don't want to feel stressed about it. I don't want to be a Nazi person about this couch. And so I don't want to worry about Teddy scratching my couch. And it was so funny because when we were looking at one of the couches, I asked the guy, I said, how does it do with pets? And he goes, oh, it's perfect for pets. And he it just hurt me. It literally hurt me. He scratched the leather with his fingers and it left marks. And he was like, see, now it looks natural. And I was like, he just scratched the couch. I was mortified. So that kind of, didn't work. It didn't have the effect that I thought he thought that it was going to have on me. It had the complete opposite. So, but anyways, before we went, which I'm glad we went like mid-morning because this ended up being a long endeavor, I was like, okay, I know which store we need to go to. Well, actually, here's the thing. Before we went to the store that I thought I wanted the couch from, I had been up in another town and I knew there was a furniture store there. So I thought, you know what? Do your due diligence, do your research. My husband's a huge research person. So just go and see if they have anything, because maybe you don't need to go down to the city. Maybe you can find something around here, which, we'll try it. So I go in, nothing matches what I have in my Pinterest board, except there is this lovely couch that looks very inviting. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to sit on it. It was on clearance. It was still a ton of money for clearance. I was like, this is on clearance. How much was this originally? And I sat on it and I was like, oh, but it was cloth. It was not leather. It was cloth. But I thought, she's nice and I like this. And I tried different parts of the couch because you can't just sit in one spot, you guys. You got to sit in all the spots. When I say I do my research about couches, I'm going to say that I do my research about couches. Like even how the pillows, are they attached? Because if they're attached, one of my kids could jump and that'll rip that right off. I mean, these are the things I think of when buying a couch. But this girl, she surprised me. I was not expecting it. But here's the thing. She was very white and had a little gray in it. Like a little sprinkle of gray in there. And, but she even had the Chase Lounge, because here's the thing. I thought either I'm going to do the leather couch with the recliners, or we're going to do a cloth couch, because she made me rethink. She put other thoughts in my mind. I was like, well, we could do a cloth couch with the Chase. So either or is pretty much what we're looking at. Still sticking with the leather, but I don't know. She put some thoughts in my mind that were not there before. And I also looked online too, but here's the thing with online. Okay, because a lot of people are like Costco, Sam's Club, and I've seen the couches. I follow people that go to Costco. Why? I don't know, because I don't even have Costco membership. I need to get one. I heard their vacations are fabulous. That's what I've heard. I don't know. If you're on Costco and you go on their vacations, let me know, because maybe it's worth it just for that. But anyways, yeah, so I did look on Costco. Again, all their couches are light gray or dark gray. We did see a leather one, but here's the thing. You can't go sit on it. This is a problem. I must sit. I must try it. I must try every spot in the couch. Like, how does this function for my family? I need to see it in person with my eyes, because when you are spending this amount of money, I am not just willy-nillying it and get a couch that I hate. That is not going to happen. So we're going to go shopping. Now, someone gave me a budget. And okay, here's the thing. I knew there would be a budget. Okay, I've been married to my husband long enough. I know there's a budget. The problem is the budget was different in my mind than what the budget was in my husband's mind. And so, like, he said a number and I was like, is that that's not the number I had in my mind. I don't know. We were not on the same page. We were not unified on the number. But I was like, we will figure that out, I guess, but you should have a budget. And here's the thing. My husband says that I have a knack for picking the most expensive thing. I am drawn to the most expensive things. So he was like, "You need a budget so that you will not purchase some like give him a heart attack." Okay, basically. It's for his stress level. That's why I need a budget. And anyways, so the first store we went into, I was like, I know where we're going. I know which couch. We walk in and bam, there she is. There is the couch I have pinned. I have sent pictures to my family. And we sit down. Paul sits in one recliner, I sit in the other recliner, and man, is she magnificent. You know, when you sit in a recliner and you're just like, ooh, okay, I could stay here. And she was large, like, so you can almost get two people in the recliner, it's a little snuggly going on. And so, not for like my kids that are dating, like for the married people. and so I just have to tell you this little thing. So Abby, when we did get our couch, she goes, "Yeah, I could be snuggling over here." And I was like, when you're married, but not when you have a boyfriend." And she was like, "Okay, mom." And I was like, honey, let me tell you, not gonna work for me. But anyway, so this couch was beautiful. It's modern, like modern chic. I don't know. It works. And I don't know, she was classy. She was so classy. The only thing is, I sat on the other seats, not impressed, pretty hard, not very comfortable. So, unless you were in the recliners, which was magnificent, I mean, if I hadn't sat on the rest of the seats, I might have been sold. But I did sit in the other ones, and I was like, it's not quite meeting my didn't meet my expectations at all. It seems like they put all their effort into the recliners and then forgot about the other four seats that were available that people are going to sit in. Maybe they didn't take that into effect. That's also the one where the guy scratched it and about gave me a heart attack. And also Paul did pick up the price tag. He was like, "This was not," and I was like, "Well, no, that's before the sale. It's Memorial Day sale, Paul. Like, it's gonna be okay." And the guy came over and, Paul was like, "Is this on sale?" And they were like, "Yes, it's on sale." And he was like, "Okay, if this is the one you want, but he's like, those seats aren't very, we were on the same page. We were tracking, which doesn't always happen when you're shopping together. Um, but and I think too, because when I sat on those other chairs, I was like comparing it to the other couch I sat on, that I loved all of the chairs, right? And maybe you're asking, like, why didn't you buy the one that you know, sat on that you loved? Well, it was a little higher on the price. It didn't have an ottoman, because if we're going to do so we're doing sectional. I don't think I said that. We're doing sectional, okay? Because we have a large family. I've always wanted a sectional. I want to try a sectional. Some of you don't like a sectional, but I wanted to try it. And for the next 22 years of my life, we're going to try a sectional. And so it didn't have an ottoman. It was whitish color with a little gray sprinkled in. And I don't know, like I said, it just didn't have all the criteria that I wanted, but I knew the comfort that I wanted. So that's where we're kind of at. So we were like, well, this isn't exactly what we want. So let's start plopping our butts on some of these couches, which I did. I sat on, I mean, if I thought it was an option. I mean, some of them you walk by and you're like, and maybe, now that I think about it, maybe it's one of those things though, where like, you see a dress and you're like, no, not an option, or an outfit, guys. I don't know how it works with guys, but for girls, you know what I'm talking about. And then everyone says, just try it on. When you try it on, maybe you'll like it. I don't think that applies to couches, because if I don't like the way you look, I don't want you in my house. So I'm not even gonna give you a little butt sit. I'm just gonna pass you over. So I may kind of be like, oh, let's try this one. Oh, let's try that one. Oh, let's try this one. And I don't know, like some were too hard, some were too light, some the pillows were attached. We're not doing that. Some didn't come with an ottoman. And I know, like, you could get a different one. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. That's not what was in my mind. And I'm going by what I want in my mind. I kind of felt like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, where it's like, this one's too hot, this one's too cold. And then I definitely was. being a Goldilocks with all of these couches. So we didn't see what we wanted. So we decided, let's go to this other store, because I'd also been scoping some things at this other store. And we walk in, there's a very nice sectional with an ottoman and a chase. So we're on the right track here. She was on back order. Here's the thing. We have an open house. I need a place for people to sit. Like, we have family coming in. We need a place to sit. When I say our couch was beyond, I mean our couch was beyond. Like, she could no longer be deemed safe for people to sit on. It'd be better for you to sit on the floor than for you to sit on her. So, I was just like, oh, we can't do something that's on back order. And so we're walking around, and then, it's just like the heavens opened, the light shone down, and I saw her, and I sat on her, and she was everything I had been looking for. She surpassed the other cloth couch that I had sat on. I mean, it was a perfect amount. It wasn't like too short or too long. It was like the perfect amount of like into the couch. The pillows were not attached. She had a chase, like a chase big enough for two people, like cuddling, kind of one. She has let me think, 7 seats. 7 seats, you guys. We're a family of 7. I know we still have room to grow, but it was just like, and like spacious. I'm like, I could see us all sitting on there on Christmas morning, doing our thing. And I just like, both Paul and I sat on her, and we were just like, this is the one. The only thing, okay, one negative was she's kind of white with a little bit of gray in there. Hardly any gray, which is a nightmare of a color. I mean, let's just be honest. But I was willing to overlook it. Okay, because I know you can buy covers. I've seen them. Like, I mentioned the word covers, and I have 1,000 ads in my feed for covers. So stupid. But anyways, I was willing to overlook it. And so we called Joe, because we realized we didn't measure. Who doesn't measure? Even Paul said that. Who doesn't measure when they're going furniture shopping? What is wrong with us? Our living room is super long, and I guess we just took into account, like, it's super long. It's fine. It'll fit. But and here's the thing, it's kind of like when you go Christmas tree shopping, like, and you're on the lot and it looks small, and then you get in your house and you're like, oh, we have to shave off a lot because you're outdoors. Of course it looks like it's the right size. Well, you're at a furniture store. Of course it looks like the right size, but is it? There's the question. So we called Joe. We have a measure. And he's like, he tells us the measurement. We're like, oh, it's too long. Oh, the frustration that was welling up inside of me. I was so bummed. So Paul's like, we got to keep looking. And I'm like, okay. So I go around the whole entire store. Don't see anything else. Nope. No, I mean, not even close. And the sales guy was very nice. He gave us our space. I don't know if maybe I didn't look approachable. It's very possible, because I probably can look like that sometimes. Like, don't talk to me. I'm not ready. Maybe that's the look I gave him. I'm not ready for you to do your sales thing. So we're walking around. He's like, is there anything I can help you with? And we were like, well, we really like this one, but it's too long. And he was like, okay, well, I'll show you these other two. Well, the one that's out of order, or out of stock, and then it's the other one. And like when you're trying to make yourself like something, but you don't. Like, it looked kind of greenish to me. I took pictures of them, and I didn't like how it looked in the photos. Like, what photos are there going to be? I don't know. But I wasn't excited about it. Like, nothing about it. The ottoman was ugly. I mean, again, he's like, you can pick a different one. I'm like, I don't want a different one. I want the one that's going to match this. That's what I want, because that's the expectations I have. And so, I don't know. I just felt like when I looked at this other options, we even looked at another one, I just felt like I was settling. It just felt like one big settle. It was nothing on the level of what I was wanting. We went to some other stores, blah. And those stores, the sales associates were like leeches. I was like, back up, okay? I know what I want. When I want help, that's how I feel, okay? If you're a salesperson, I know it's like your job, but like when I want you, because sometimes I need you, okay? I was at Walmart the other day, they moved something, and I was like, hey, do you know where these are? I need you. But until I need you, I don't want you, okay? It sounds mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying. You get what I'm saying. So they were like, "Ugh," on us and giving you information that you're like, I'm not even interested in this couch. I just sat on it to see if I liked it. I don't want this couch. And some of them were way out of our budget. And Paul was like, well, and I was like, I will be respectful of the budget because I didn't want them. I, it's funny how I'm very respectful of the budget when I don't want anything. So we I don't know. We were just very discouraged because we just weren't finding what we were looking for. And the one that I loved didn't fit, and that was super irritating to me. I think my husband started to get a little worried because I started to say things like, well, maybe today's not the day we get a couch. And he goes, because I'm not lowering my standards and I want to be excited about this. And he was like, but it's Memorial Day sale, Aaron. We can save a lot of money. And I'm like, I do care. I do care, baby. I do care. I respect the budget. Anyways, but yeah, it wasn't I wasn't fitting and it was just super. So we decided let's go back to this other place because they had the most options of what we were looking for. We also went in to the bathroom because you can't make good decisions with a full bladder. Okay? Everybody knows this. You need to empty your bladder because you got to think, right? We walked the entire store again. It was a huge store. I resat on things, I rethought things. I just was not happy. We get back to the one that I had seen, and I was just like, I love her. She's just beautiful. I sat back on her. I laid on her because number one, I was tired. We'd been doing this for a while. And then it popped into my head. And I thought, you know what? Uh, Maybe Joseph didn't measure from the wall because we have a rocking chair and that's on this like the length of the one wall we needed. And I thought, I bet you he did it from the rocking chair, not the wall. So we call him. Hey, where did you measure from? I measured from the rocking chair. We're like, measure from the wall. I don't even think he's ever measured anything in his life, but guess what? He was measuring and that was scary to know, but him and Abby did it together. Okay. So I figured between the two of them, they can get it right. So we're like, well, there wouldn't be a lot of room, but it would fit. And we were like, hallelujah. So happy. I kind of felt like I had been like Cinderella walking around looking for, or they're looking for the right fit for the slipper. And it was just like that couch fit. It had everything except the color a little bit, but it wasn't dark gray or light gray, like light gray, which are things I just personally, not that I don't like them. So if you have a light gray couch or dark gray couch, like, she doesn't like my couch. No, it's just not what I was looking for in my house. Okay. So, anyways, and guess what? It was in budget. Yes. I mean, it was like really good in budget. Like, so you're welcome, Paul. You're welcome. Anyways, I also, because it was so in budget, I was like, so what about a new carpet? Because mine pills really bad and I hate it. And Paul's like, didn't we just not? I'm like, I hate it though. And he was feeling generous, because I was in budget. And so he's like, all right, you can go ahead and look at carpets. There is a perfect carpet. I mean, it matches I can see it by the couch because it's right next to it. It's not the one they put with it, which they should. They should swap those because it looks really good. And then it goes like with everything. It ties in my dining room to my living room, like whole thing. And he goes to look at the price tag, and guess what? That's not cheap, you guys. But I, trying to be in his budget, walk the entire store looking for a different carpet. Now, do we have to get a carpet? No, but if we met like a certain amount, we got free delivery, which in the long run really wouldn't matter. But we didn't know that at the time. And so I'm like, we might as well get a carpet because we're basically getting it for free. I don't think we got that for free. But anyways, in my mind, it was basically for free. So I like walked the whole store. I'm coming back and Paul's like, just get it. Just get the carpet. And I was like, okay. He's like, it would look nice. But anyways, it was just a whole ordeal. There we go. Words. So after 5 hours and 4 stores later, a lot of online looking and other stores that I went to, the Rollings have a new couch. Aren't you so glad you've listened to this whole podcast about a couch? And but no one's allowed to eat or drink on it. And it was funny because Joseph said, "Are you going to be one of those Italian moms who like wrap it in the plastic?" And I was like, maybe. Just maybe. Actually, I ordered covers the day it came. I ordered covers. So I might be a little bit more lenient, but not at the moment. But we got it all set up. And she barely fits, but she does. Here, I also want to say something else because the whole podcast I did before this was about God winks. And here's something really crazy because a carpet is stupid, right? Like I said, sometimes it's just stupid things or seemingly stupid, right? So when we bought the couch and the carpet, they said the carpet wasn't going to come for a while. And I was like, well, I don't need the carpet for like people coming for the open house, but I do need a couch. So I was like, it's fine. And so after a long debacle of like them telling us later that they couldn't deliver it to us, which so Paul went down there. People were super helpful with that. They went, got it. I was like, ask them if they have the carpet while you're there. And they were like, no, we don't. So Paul's like, hey, I'm on my way back with the couches. Meet me at the house. We're going to get them set up. And I was like, man, I wish I had my new carpet. But you know what? Like, do I take the other carpet out? Do I put it on top of the old carpet? Like, what do we do here? I literally pull into my driveway. What is sitting outside my door? My carpet. Like, thank you, Jesus. I don't know. Stupid? Yes. Delights my heart? Yes. I mean, just a little blessing so I could roll it down, which we were trying to lay it. And Paul wasn't, my communication, maybe it was my communication, maybe it was him not understanding my communication. I don't know, but we had a little moment there. I apologize. It's fine. We got it laid. It's all good. But just wanted to share that little carpet God wink because it was really special. But as I'm sitting here looking at my new couch, and I thought, because I sat down, I was like, you guys, to my kids, because they helped finish setting it up. I said, you guys, it's big. Like, is it too big? And they were like, Mom, you are not taking this back, because they fell in love with it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care if it's too big. We love it. We're going to use it. And when I thought back to, well, what else would you get? You literally are so picky. You didn't find anything else that you liked or that met your expectations. And do you want to settle for something just for a few inches? Like, no, don't worry about it. But it kind of just hit me, this whole thought of like, why do we settle? Because I was on the verge of settling for something that I didn't want. And trust me, setting it up would not have brought me joy. Looking at it, I'm one of those people that when I settle for something and then I just keep looking, I'm like, there's no excitement there. And baby, we paid a lot of money for this thing. I should have some excitement about it and some joy. And if I got to look at it for 22 years, I should be happy with it. But let's move out of the realm of couches, okay? What do we settle for? Maybe it is a couch. I don't know. But things in your life, what do you settle for? And what do we miss out of because we settle? When I think back to that other couch that was like, we almost went with that one. And then I'm sitting on this couch that I love. I thought, I'd be missing out on this plushness. This, I mean, Abby has, you know how dogs mark their territory? Literally, Abby, she hasn't marked the couch, okay? But she has laid in every position she possibly could on that couch. It has been fully laid on by Abby to make sure that every position works and is comfortable and all of those things. It's so cute. She's adorable. Um, but what would I have missed out? What do we miss out when we settle? I was just talking with a friend the other day, and it just slipped right into this topic of this podcast because it she was sharing with me that she had this conversation, and it seems like God might be opening some really big doors, potentially huge doors for her. And she was just super excited about it. She wanted to share it with me. And as she was talking about it with all this excitement, I went, I thought back and I thought, man, she could have settled. Because several years ago, she stepped out of her comfort zone and she stepped into water. She had no idea what she was doing. She was just like, I think I would like to do this. You know, like she did know what she was doing for herself personally, but you know how it is moving from a personal thing to moving into something that involves other people is on another level. And so she stepped out from what was safe and good and comfortable for her. And when she did it, she had no idea if anything would have come of what she was doing. And I remember sitting with her at a local restaurant and we were talking about it. She was hemming and hawing about it. And what do you think? And stuff like that. Well, I always feel honored when people are like, hey, I have this idea, because you just like, when someone shares something with you, let me just throw this in here. With you like that, it's because you're safe. You're a safe person. When they're sharing their dreams, it's because they're looking at you like for wisdom and for guidance, maybe for prayer, and because you're safe. You're a safe person. So whenever somebody shares a dream with me, I always feel so honored because I'm like, that means I'm safe. I'm a safe person for them to feel like they can share it. So as she was sharing with me, I was like, okay, I'm safe to her. And I feel so honored. And we talked about this question when we were discussing it of like, is what if this is something God has for you? Like, you don't know the outcome, but you could miss out if you don't try this. And I shared with her, and I've shared with you our whole story with our church. That was a place we were at. It was like, we don't know the outcome, but like, what could we be missing out? And I obviously know now a lot, but I didn't know that back then when we were starting our church. I had no idea what I would be missing out on. But now I can see, wow, we would have really missed out on, I think, God's purpose for our life, to be honest. But, and that's the thing, you can stay here, you can stay in the safe, or you can go into some uncharted waters, not knowing the outcome of what is going to happen, but it's like, what's out there? What could be if I was willing to stop settling just to be like, no, I'll stay here. Because that's settling. If we're just like, no, I'm comfortable, then you're probably settling. Okay? Now, like I said, she didn't know the outcome back then. But here she was being given this opportunity, and I don't know, I was just like, my heart filled with so much joy for her, because I'm just looking at her, and as she was telling me about it, like, I thought back to when the other job she had before, she never talked about it with the same amount of joy that she was talking about this opportunity. And her smile, I never saw her smile that much. I never saw, like, her eyes lit up as she was talking. She was like, this just could be really crazy, a crazy opportunity. I don't know what it entails, but I'm like, she never would be here if she hadn't been in this whole process of saying, okay, I'm not going to settle, because that other job, yeah, she was doing good. Okay. I'm not saying that because you're just staying in this safe place that you're not doing something good. But is there something better That's the question I'm going to ask. Is there something more, which has just been a life question for me in my life? Whenever I feel complacent, whenever I feel really satisfied, I have this question, is there more? And in order to fulfill the more, you have to be willing to step out. Here's the thing. I look at my friend, and there was a moment where she almost quit. She got discouraged. Like, there was a moment where it didn't quite seem like it was panning out of how she envisioned it. And she didn't stop. She kept going. And I know she's going to watch this, and I know she remembers that time, because she started to gravitate back to the other place. She was like, wow, this doesn't seem like it's really, I could stay here because that's safe. But is that settling? When I look at the heroes of the Bible and I think, what if they would have just stayed safe? It's safe to be in this place. Man, we would not have all these stories of people who did crazy, amazing things because they were willing to not settle. Like, do you think about it? How thin would our Bible be without all those stories? Yet we have so many examples in your Bible. Just go open them. It won't be hard to find one of people who were called into bigger things. But I could stay here, but is that settling? What they would have missed out, what we would have missed out by them not being willing to step into those things. Think about it. Whew. I already said that. I'm looking down at my notes and I'm like, I already said that. See, this is True Life Podcast. We just wasn't supposed to say that yet about her wanting to quit. But I think back to like where she is, and I've seen the impact that she's had on people's lives. And we talked about that the other day. And I thought, what if she would have settled? Yeah, she would have had impact, but she has had so much more impact than she will even ever know. See, that's the thing. When you move into different waters, when you're willing to go into different places, yeah, you may never know exactly how much of an impact you're having. But I talk about this because it's a reality. We all will stand before Christ. And I've said this many times, but I'll continue to say it because if we don't think about this, I think it's easy to settle. We will all stand before Christ. We all give account of what we did. And I never want Jesus to look at me and say, well, you could have. I gave you opportunity. I gave you the desire. I even sent you the people to help you, and you settled. So this is your reward. But think about that. If he said, this is what your reward could have been. Am I telling you got to go do crazy, crazy things? No, I'm not. I used the couch as an example, you guys, for settling. It doesn't have to be something crazy. But if there is something, dive deeper. This podcast is diving deeper because I had to dive deeper. You seeing my face is me diving deeper. There are other things coming on the horizon that require me to dive deeper. Yes, I can say, you know what, this is good. But I think I've seen enough faithfulness from God to come through to say, you know what, I'm willing to take a chance. Because here's the thing, it's never, to us, we look at it and we say, ooh, what if this doesn't pan out? And God's like, I know exactly how it's going to pan out. And it's either going to teach you something. It's not a failure. It's a teachable moment. And it will help build you up to the place where he needs you to be for the venture or the thing in your life that he has for you. So I'm here because if you're listening to this podcast, I don't take it lightly that you're listening. And yes, we can use a silly example of a couch, but have a strong, deep message of saying, don't settle. Do not settle. dive in. And my job here, I feel the calling is sometimes to push you. I I kind of feel like I did that with my friend a little bit. I was like, I'll give you a little shove. She had to be willing, but I just give you a little shove. Just go. Just do it. See what happens. Don't settle. And that can even apply to a relationship. Don't settle in your relationship. Don't settle in your job. Don't settle in your ministry. Don't settle in your parenting. Don't settle in your marriage. Like all the things. Let's dive in. And here's the thing. If I am pushing you a little bit right now, I will jump in right behind you and we will do this together. So don't settle.